So let's talk about Threads for photographers. This is everything that you need to know right now to make the most of this opportunity of being early to a social media platform. Firstly, let's talk about the bio. You probably brought your bio across from Instagram. That was something that happened automatically. I would say most people did that, and that's fine. But remember that you wrote your bio knowing that it goes alongside a grid of photos. 2 or 3 photos says a huge amount about who you are as a photographer. So it's quite possible that your bio doesn't actually represent you when you take away that grid. And remember, Threads doesn't have your Instagram grid. Take a look at your bio. Does it still represent you without the Instagram grid? That's important for photographers. Next, remember this isn't a service, it's an opportunity. I see this attitude quite a lot. People saying, oh, I joined on this new social media platform, but there's no likes over there. You know, as if somehow this social media platform owes you likes, like that's some sort of currency or even important. Remember that this isn't a service that owes you something that you're paying for. This is an opportunity for you to connect with other human beings, as simple as that. Every single social media platform is just one way of connecting with other humans. And remember, as a photographer, don't focus on any of the numbers. That is a total distraction. You're a photographer. Focus on the things that matter to you to achieve the results that you want to achieve in photography. One of the biggest objections of Threads right now is that there is no following feed, and it's highly likely that you do have a following feed, you just don't know it because it's kind of hidden. What you do, if you just press the home button and it will take you back to the home, and if you tap it again, a little interface comes down and you can switch to following. What's really nice is when you come back to the app after closing your phone, it stays on the following page, which is really nice because most of us just want to see the stuff that we follow. So go to the home page, tap home and see whether you have this update. If not, you'll probably get it pretty soon. Focus on connecting with Threads natives, okay? What do I mean by that? I mean people who use Threads. Your following came across from Instagram. Most of those people probably tried Threads and gave up on it. Focus on the people that are using Threads if you want to build a community. So forget the following, forget the number of people that follow you. Focus on the stuff that pops up on your feed. Those are your kind of Threads natives. So the majority of your followers probably also follow you on Instagram. And if you're still active on Instagram and posting the same stuff, are you kind of expecting them to see it twice and react twice? I highly recommend taking this opportunity to just experiment and bring something new to people so that they don't just see you on this new app, they see a whole new version of you that they're just not used to. I've said this in multiple videos, but the most powerful thing that you have is your unique personality, so share it if you want to. And the next big objection on Threads is that people are seeing a lot of stuff that they don't really care about. Now, rather than letting this get to you, just hit the mute button, I promise. 3 dots in the top, mute. You will find that if you engage with a post, maybe it's about politics or maybe it's about football, you will start to see that stuff. That's just a feature of their algorithm right now. Don't let it get to you, just mute it. Now, Threads is exciting and I really, really like it. I think it's a great platform for photographers and it's almost totally replaced my Twitter usage. But what it lacks is a kind of permanent high-resolution place to put your photos. And for that, I use the sponsor of this video, which is Vero. Vero is a chronological social media platform where you simply decide what you want to see by following the people who create the content that you want to see. And for me, that's photographers. I use it to post my photography in high resolution. This appears in a grid form on your profile. Then you can feature all of those different posts at the very top of your profile to kind of showcase who you are as a photographer. These don't have to be photo posts, so for example, I can post my videos here and link them at the very top of my profile, which is really nice. Something I love about Vero is if I want to explore a certain type of photography, I just need to go to the discovery section and click on the discipline of photography that I like, and there it is. I can just scroll through this, and when I find something I like, I can follow. Posting photos as a professional photographer is actually a really nice experience as well, because everything's on my computer, and they have a desktop app as well as a mobile app. I can simply drag my photos into the desktop app, and they will appear in the exact aspect ratio and resolution that I've imported them in. No other social media does that as far as I'm aware. So after you finish this video, click the link in the description, head over to my account, leave a comment or a like, and I'll come and check out your work on Vero as well. And this actually leads me nicely into my next point because I think Threads is probably the only other social media that deals with aspect ratio in photography as well as Vero does. Considering Threads is a text-based social media, it actually looks great when you post photos. You can post up to 10 photos in a carousel. You can post vertical with landscape and any aspect ratio, and it will show it on the phone screen. And there's actually some really nice tricks that you can do with it on the mobile app, like showing them in full screen panoramas and swiping through. I have a whole video on that I'll link up here. So my tip here would be, if all of your photos are still in Instagram 4x5, take a look back at all of your work and see whether you can mix them up and just show things in a totally different way. So this is a really good opportunity for you to be showing all of your different types of work if you've gotten really stuck in that rut of being an Instagram photographer, just throwing up 4x5s all the time. For someone who might not be used to Twitter and kind of text-based feeds, it's important to be additive, to be positive. Now, this isn't about toxic positivity, just being positive for the sake of it. I would say Instagram really suffers from that. This is about adding something to the conversation, because it's very, very easy to use these platforms as a way to vent, to say, I hate this, or this is annoying me, or just complaining at people. Now, I kind of know what this sounds like, and I'm feeling it as I say it. It kind of sounds like negativity censorship. It's very difficult for me to explain what I'm getting at here, but try and add things to conversations rather than simply trying to cut people down, okay? That's probably the simplest way of saying it. Now, this next point is very, very important. I think we've kind of fallen into this world right now where being a successful photographer means you're successful on social media. The two things are not connected. A good threader or a good Instagrammer is not necessarily a good photographer. You can also be a good photographer, but being a good threader, Instagrammer, Twitterer, whatever, doesn't make you a good photographer. It just means that you're good at social media, you're good at communicating on the internet. If your goal is to be a photographer, a professional photographer that earns money doing photography, then a social media following can be helpful. But that's not where you should be focusing your time. Do that alongside all of the things that you need to do to be a photographer. And I say that because when a new social media appears, you kind of get this FOMO, like maybe this is my chance to make it in photography. This isn't what it is. This is just another opportunity for you to communicate what you do outside of social media on social media. Does that make sense? The next point's an important one. It's really just a reminder. The numbers on Instagram are different to the numbers on Twitter. For example, if you put out a photo and you have 1,000 followers on each platform, 100 likes on Instagram would be good and normal for 1,000 followers. That'd be really good. On Twitter, 10 to 20 likes on that post would be good. That's normal, okay? Threads is more like Twitter than it is about Instagram. My actual ultimate point here is forget the numbers, but I just want to make it clear that the people who are from Instagram being on Threads, engagement isn't supposed to feel like Instagram. It's more like Twitter, which is much, much lower. So if you put out a thread and get 3 people replying to it and about 10 to 20 likes, that's great. Brilliant. Make more content, keep going, keep having conversations, keep engaging with people and keep bringing things to the conversation. It's not supposed to be a dump it and leave it kind of post like Instagram is. This is more an ongoing conversation, okay? So if you're worrying about numbers, which don't, but if you are, they're lower than they are on Instagram. That's just natural. And my next point specifically for photographers, okay? This is something that happens all the time on Twitter. These are kind of engagement traps, I want to call them. These are people with bigger accounts saying, hey, photographers, drop your whatever below, retweeting everything or reposting everything. That makes it feel like this person with a big account is going to be sharing all of your photos, okay? That's not what's happening. What's happening is that person is getting you to comment on their post, which means their post blows up and gets shown to loads of people, and they may retweet your photo, but no one's going to see it because that's like 20 retweets or 10 retweets that they're going to do, or reposts, whatever. This is all about them and not about you. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities to meet people in these posts and that there is any harm at all in engaging with it. My point is simply, when you see a post like that, understand what's happening. They are just simply trying to get you to comment on their post. That's not for you. That's boosting them, not boosting you. Simple as that. So engage with it, fine, but don't think that that is some route to success on social media. Now, I just want to talk about my kind of final thoughts for Threads for photographers, and there's probably some important stuff here, okay? It might feel overwhelming to kind of add another social media to your world of social medias. Personally, for me, I've actually replaced many with one. So I've replaced Instagram, Twitter, just in terms of time with Threads. I'm enjoying Threads. I'm enjoying talking to people and sharing more about what I do. That's kind of what feels natural to me. So my main things are Threads and Vero. Vero is very permanent. It's a place that I can talk with professional photographers and post things in high resolution. And Threads is a place that I can throw up all sorts of photos. And similarly to stories, they kind of disappear. You can scroll down and find them, but they kind of disappear. So for me, that's how I'm doing it. I think Meta are probably going to put quite a lot into Threads because Facebook is, on the way out. Instagram's probably on the way out. So this is kind of their lifeboat. So even if Threads right now isn't working for you, keep an eye on it, in my opinion, because it could be that this is the next big social media from Meta. And for me, it's great because I've replaced all my time on other social medias with one. And that's great for me. So if you have a question, let's say you want to know how to do this or you want some advice on that, let me know in the comments and I'll try and reply with a short, like a video. But in the meantime, come and say hi on Threads, come and say hi on Vero, and I will see you in the next video.